Hi, first grade. I'm excited to talk to you about the plant life cycle today, and I'm going to start with the life cycles of sunflowers. So we're going to read this book together and then do a little diagram about a sunflower's life cycle. The story is written by Julie Lundgren and illustrated by Julie Lundgren. It has a lot of facts and information and photographs. So we'll be sure to check those out. Remember that we're going to get our information, our facts from not only the illustrations and the photographs, but also the words and the bold text or captions. Sunny faces. Long ago, sunflowers grew wild in North, Central, and South America. The people living in these areas began to raise sunflowers over 4,000 years ago. Over time, people planted sunflowers all over the world and developed many special kinds. At the bottom here, they have a map. It says map it out, and you can see the different parts where sunflowers grew on every continent but Antarctica. A favorite with gardeners, bees, and birds, sunflowers bring cheer with their bright faces. Growers can choose short or tall sunflowers in many colors, including yellow, orange, and red. Each plant may have single flowers or many flowers. About 1,000 different kinds grow around the world. Native peoples use sunflower plants, flowers, and seeds to make medicine, flour, dye, face paints for important days, and oil. Farmers today grow sunflowers for food and oil. Sunflowers also provide food for farm animals and some wild animals. And here you can see an example, and the caption says that people use sunflower oil for cooking. And snack bowl tip, sunflower seeds make a great snack on their own. For a super snack, mix shelled sunflower seeds, raisins, oat cereal, and chocolate chips. And I like sunflowers. I think they're a great healthy snack. We also like to feed our birds in the bird feeder sunflower seeds. Tasty sunflower seeds provide birds with a powerful punch of energy. Did you know cans and packets of tuna often contain sunflower seed oil? It's very interesting. Here you can see a bird enjoying some sunflowers right off of the plant. Each part of the plant has a special job to do. Sunflower roots take up water and nutrients from the soil and bring them to the plant through its stem. Now we remember that nutrients is a very important word, and here you can see it in bold text. So we know that nutrients is an important fact that the sunflower needs to grow, and that those nutrients and water come up from the soil through the roots. Green leaves change sunlight into a simple sugar that plants use as energy to grow. Flowers make seeds. Some kinds of sunflowers are annuals. Other kinds are perennials. Annuals and perennials. Does anyone know the difference? Well, when you think of annual plants, think about that they only grow one season, one time, while perennials, they come back each year without replanting. So it says here that sunflowers could be one of the two, so they could be annual or perennial. Fuzzy leaves and stems act as the plant's defense. Animals do not want a mouthful of prickles. So just like the spines on a cactus, if you look at the underside of a sunflower, it has these prickly hairs that keep bugs away or animals that try to eat the sunflower. Parts of a sunflower. Sunflower roots reach deep into the soil, some as deep as 9 feet. This makes them better able to survive hot, dry weather. Here in the diagram, we can see the roots at the bottom, the stem stalk, the leaf, and at the top, the flower head and the petals. Seed secrets. Each living thing begins growing, reproduces, and then dies. Scientists call this a life cycle. So they start at the top and go around, and that's why we call it a cycle. It goes around and around. Cycles happen again and again without end. The sunflower plant's life cycle begins with a small seed. Inside the seed's hard protective shell lies the kernel. The kernel contains the seed's food supply and special parts that become the sprout first, and then the leaves and the stem. So here in the diagram, you can see that each seed contains everything the plant needs to grow have a strong start. Here's the shell. You crack it open, and inside is the kernel or the seed. All right, so in my diagram here, I started with the seeds first. So I'm going to write the word seed. And we know that the seed then will start to sprout. So let's see what happens next. Did you know farmers most often plant gray striped seeds for food and black seeds for oil? I did not know that. So these would be planted for food, and these, in the photograph, the black ones, are planted to make sunflower seed oil. Very interesting. After planting, a seed soaks up water from the soil. The food stored inside begins to break down to feed the tiny developing plant. Soon the plant's first root pokes out from one end of the seed. The first stem grows from the other end. Warm temperatures speed seed germination or sprouting. So we know that germination is the beginning of the seed growing. We learned about that before when we read about seeds. And now we're going to draw a picture of the stem. So here you can see that squirrels and other animals sometimes steal the tasty seeds after planting. We don't want that to happen in our life cycle. All right, so the first thing we'll see start to develop is the sprout. So after planting, the seed soaks up the water and soil and begins to break down the tiny developing plant, to feed the tiny developing plant. So first it says root pokes out from one end of the seed. So we'll have to draw the roots first. And then the sprout. Now remember, when the sprout comes up, it's just going to look like a tiny stem with two little leaves. And we have to draw the soil that it is planted in. Remember, the seed will grow down into the soil, and the roots will take hold there. Sprouts reach their full height in one growing season. The tallest kind can top 20 feet. Sunlight, water, and soil rich in nutrients help make strong, healthy plants. In this picture here, the caption says, "The giant sunflower contest spur gardeners to grow their biggest plants. Contest judges look for the largest seed head or the tallest plant." Short sunflowers grow well in pots in small gardens. Try growing tall sunflower favorites called Titan, Mammoth, and Skyscraper. Annual sunflowers face east in the morning and slowly turn with the sun to face west by day's end. This allows them to get the most amount of sunlight. During the night, sunflower plants turn again to face east. A flexible stem area just below the flower bud allows the plant to turn. That's very interesting information. I'm going to draw a small sunflower plant down here at the bottom, because this would be the young plant growing in the soil. It has the stem and the leaves, and this would be the soil. All flowers face the sun. Many sunflowers bloom in 90 to 110 days. Sunflowers with short stems can blossom in 50 to 70 days. And if you've ever seen a sunflower field, it's absolutely breathtaking, beautiful. Flower power. Sunflower heads have two kinds of flowers. The central disc flowers produce pollen, nectar, and seeds. The colorful outer petals, called ray flowers, attract insects. Insects carry pollen from one flower to another so the plant can make seeds. Insects move pollen from flower to flower as they sip sweet flower nectar. Each pollinated disc flower makes one seed. So if you can look really carefully there at the actual sunflower disc, you can see that the outer rim of the sunflower, here's the petals, and the outer rim has these little flowers here that help pollinate and provide pollen. And then the inner rim has the seeds. Now the flower is starting to grow larger. Did you know that wind can carry pollen from one plant to another? In the fall, petals fade and the seeds dry. When the back of the seed head turns from green to brown, seed harvest can begin. Machines can separate the seeds from the plant, or simply rubbing by hand pops them out. Growers have some seed for next year's planting, so the life cycle can begin again. And here's a machine that makes the quick work of the sunflower harvest. So in the fall time, the petals fade and the seeds dry. So I would think that the sunflower begins to droop. Draw my stem, kind of bent over. And at this point in time is when the flowers begin to die and those little seeds start to fall out, or the farmer can start harvesting them. But if one definitely falls out to the ground, then that little seed can start the whole cycle over again. Grow a sunflower house. In a sunny spot, plant 4 rows of Titan Mammoth or skyscraper sunflower seeds in the shape of a square. After planting the seeds, cover the square center with wood chips for a nice floor. Water and weed your growing plants as they form living walls. From inside, you can watch visiting bees, butterflies, and birds. That would be an exciting playhouse. And here's a diagram of the life cycle of a sunflower. It says number 1, the life cycle begins with a seed, like we drew. And then number 2, the seed sprouts a root and a stem. And number 3, the flower and leaves grow. And then number 4, flowers make seeds that fall to the soil or are collected for planting the following spring. So we can add words to our diagram. We know that this was the seed. We know that this is the root growing. We know that this was the stem or the shoot. We know that this was the young plant. Sometimes when it's a tree growing, they call it a sapling. And then we know that this is the adult plant. And then we know that in the fall, when the seeds start to fall out, this would be the dying plant. And these are the seeds falling out, which will grow into new plants. So boys and girls, at the end of the school year, you are all going to get your own packet of sunflower seeds. And these are the giant gray striped sunflowers. And my challenge for you is to try to build your own sunflower house and observe the bees and the insects and the birds that come by and pollinate and later eat your sunflowers that are growing and dying and starting the whole life cycle over again in the fall. Thank you for watching. Bye.